I'm going to show now how to render the free surface using ParaView. So I'm going to open here and I'll go to my test output, and you'll notice in this directory I have things like the impeller, I have the tank, I also have this output called interface, which is created for simulations that have a headspace specified explicitly. So I'll load all these up, and so there's my tank. Here is the fluid that I'm simulating. I'll make my tank somewhat transparent to see again the surface of the fluid inside my system. And what I typically do is to make my interface somewhat opaque so I can see the impeller inside, and oftentimes I'll color it maybe like a light blue just so you can really get an effect of where it is. And if I jump to the last time step here, I can see it's obviously swirling under the action of the impeller in this unbaffled tank. So this is, if I just jump some intermediate time step here, I can play this and see how the impeller is in fact causing the free surface to move as a function of time. And so to that point, I can do some things that are a bit more artistic. For example, I can trim this to maybe eliminate some of the side walls and the bottom interface. For example, I have the interface selected. I can use this clip, and I can choose to use a plane that is normal to the Y. I'll hit apply here and close that. Oopsie, let me turn the clip on one more time here. Turn that on and do the inside out to flip. It's perfect. Okay, it's perfect as is. And I can also then do another clip where I clip out, instead of using this plane, I can go to cylinder here and maybe make this like a, I don't know, 47. Just a little something to trim inside. Then hit, there we go. And yeah, that looks good. Hit apply there. And again, I'll do inside out here. And so now what I have here, and I will not show the cylinder, is I just have the interface showing there. And again, this is necessary, but sometimes helps just with extracting the relevant portion of the simulation. So if I make this light blue again, you can see I just have the interface here dancing around on top of the surface. And again, that's purely just to make things look a bit clear. You don't have to do that, but it removes, using clips, some of that intermediate information down near the sidewalls and the bottom of the tank. Sometimes I like to make my background white when doing free surface simulations. Wow. Let me go to my background and make that white. Okay, just to be more clear. And you can do other things too if you really want to get fancy. You can kind of do shadows and such. I don't want those today or right now. But this is one general way to load in free surfaces and kind of watch them evolve in response to the agitation of the impeller. Again, you don't have to do the trims if you don't want to. It's all per your taste. I could turn everything back on, just the regular interface, and see the whole thing in there. In fact, let me turn those clips off, and that's what I had originally. Now, one thing you might notice, once you do all this formatting, you might like this, and you might not want to have to load everything up again all the time. So that's no problem. If I can choose to save this state, save state, and I'll call it, free surf state. I guess I already had this previously saved, but the point is, I can save this state, and now if I ever go in and want to reopen some files and have it look just like this, let's say I was particularly pleased with the way I cut it, and I like the way this looks. I don't want to do this every time I load in this image. I can save the state, and I can then load the state, and let's say it's this free surface state, and just load in the correct files. So it's looking for the impeller STLs, the tank STLs, and the interface STLs. So I can load these up. Let's say if there have been more time steps generated, what was I asking for first? The impellers. Okay, so I'll load up the impellers. The tank isn't going to change with time, but the interface, I can go down here and get the interface. So what I can do here is create a pretty and nice image one time, and just save it as a state and load a state in, so that I get more time steps down the road. I can just add them to my current state without having to reconfigure all of the data. So that's what's going on. That's how I typically visualize these free surfaces. Hopefully that makes sense, and if not, just let me know. Thank you again.